back to Trains in the Valley. We are here on a pleasant Thursday night, ready to run some trains and get into some train talk. So, Victoria informed me right before we got on here that we are one subscriber away from 1,600. Now, I'm not one to beg for subscribers, but that's pretty legendary. Wow, and just saying that, like we barely had over 1,000 at the beginning of the year, so what a jump! We're so grateful. You guys are really awesome. So, with that said, we're gonna have a really cool show tonight. We're gonna be doing an actual operating session. Before I kind of played around a little bit in the yard here, but we are gonna legitly be doing some operations here. And also, if you were on last week, we were talking about it's kind of always a running joke that I land up with this secret stash. I kind of forget about stuff and it gets placed in a random spot. So we're going to be taking a look at this guy here. We'll get the shiny plastic off of it, but it's a B&O Chessie from Tangent. So that was a cool little trade I did. Hey, hello everyone. Good to see everybody. It's been awesome hearing from everyone throughout the week. Now I realize who some of you guys are. Really appreciate you being with us. It is awesome. That is cool, Sleeper. That's awesome. Hey, Express, what's up? Well, that's really cool. I like I said, I never would have thought like people would be so excited to see the behind the scenes and stuff, but boy, like I don't want to get ahead of ourselves because we're addressing this topic soon enough, but it's like, well, someone has to sell model trains, someone has to dig into this stuff. It's crazy, but yes, yeah, Tangent. I'm interested in that. We got it from one of our really cool local customers, also known as a friend. Um, yeah, he had a tray of them that he got. He got them used, but they were in excellent condition. So, yeah. Ooh, roller bearing caps that spin. I like that. You're getting me fired up. Yeah, we'll definitely be taking a look at that baby and be digging into the yard here. We want to do like an actual operating session tonight. So I figured I'd get like a chassis system train going on in the background, but we're going to bring a train in here then and a full train, get that sorted out in the yard. There's Kyle. Hey, what's going on? We we're busting it out tonight. We got it. I didn't actually have a game plan for that, but you know what? It would probably make sense to just open that up and add it to the scene here. So I'm gonna try to like formulate some form of a table. It's not easy to do when you have a train layout going on and you
Random question.
run everything to the edge.
The light ring is like mostly shining off
Yes.
the wood. Or did you just raise it?
Yeah, I just raised it up. Okay.
It's kind of hard to see the back row.
Yes, Victoria was giving me some production ideas. Yeah, the lighting, it's sketchy at best here, but we're trying.
Ring, maybe we could shine it as a second source of light then.
Yeah. Hey, with that said, this is really cool. Wait, yeah. Hold on. Before I get to that, Sleeper, that's a good question. Definitely keeping the box. I save my boxes. You know, I have boxes of boxes, especially with transporting stuff. I think it's the way to go. Now, I'll admit, some of the older style boxes, like from the 70s, sometimes I feel like they just destroy the products more than save them. So those I'm not too sentimental about sometimes, especially if they smell like a musky basement. But what I was going to say is we have an awesome opportunity this week that happened that's going to help us to reinvest into the YouTube channel and make it better. We finally hit that awesome milestone of whenever you guys see one of those ads, that plays before our videos or after or whatever. We finally hit the point, thanks to you guys being so supportive and getting our videos out there, that we're actually going to start receiving a cut of that ad money. So that is pretty cool. That's one of those like distant dreams for YouTubers, and I can't believe that it happened fast.
We hit 1,600.
And we just hit 1,600, Victoria says. Thank you so much. Okay, I say we get this show on the road. So I'm going to attempt to open up this Tangent box, and I'm sure I'm going to like it. I mean, that's when Victoria said about opening this up. I'm not sure what the concept was, as if like I would be like, it's okay. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I don't know how in the world he got his hands on this. He got it. I don't even understand how he got it so cheap, because everything else, it's a train shop that's sort of close to us. It's a pretty pricey shop. Like, I've seen stuff like pretty much list price. So I don't know. He got a good deal there. Well, actually, I think he said it was the owners of the shop. And, when you're getting stuff at a discount and you're kind of playing around and testing stuff and maybe having a kind of like a setup for the store, who knows? But we didn't fall in any of these yet. Okay, so yeah, I can already just tell this is an awesome car. Excited to be sharing this experience with you guys. First of all, this is like long Chessie Hopper. Let's see if we can really show this guy off here. Yeah, and this is specifically, I should say what it is. What I love about Tangent here is they, normally I'm used to saying 3-bay hopper, whatever, but they go all out. It's PS 3526 or a 3600 HT 3-bay coal hopper. That's very, very technical. Really cool. So, yeah. The cat in all its glory here. What's really cool is the detail of the, I don't know. It's so 3D. That coal load's really nice too. I always saw that they had nice coal loads. But that looks pretty good for a plastic coal load, that's for sure. Yeah. It got detail. Yeah, spinning roller bearing caps. Yes. That is cool. I'll admit, I might have missed that, which that's like my favorite thing ever. I know it's overkill. I know it's like you'll miss it sometimes, but if I'm not looking for it, sometimes I'll miss it. And on a black car, I might have not seen that. So thank you, Hess Express, for pointing that out. Yeah, it is. Yep, they are spinners. So that is really cool. Well, it's gonna take a lot of. Oh, and what's nice too, as I just noticed, they have some extras here. So they have 4 applied, but I realized that sometimes, no matter how good they're made, they're bound to go flying somewhere at some point. Let's see. I don't have my scale on this side of the room, but I would say, yeah, let me do a quick comparison here to a Bowser. So here, exactly not the same as that kind of car. Now, granted, it has a coal load going on here, but yeah, I can definitely tell it's right in the right. It's in a sweet spot. It's not too heavy, but it definitely has some decent weight to it. And what I like to see, that's what I really like to see, 158's right in there. Yes, sir. That's what we like to see. I would have probably went for scale metal wheels yet, but we can't have everything. I realize not everyone likes the scale metal wheels. It just depends. I don't seem to have issues with it with Bachmann Easy Track, but there's different setups where, the thinner profile can give some issues. All right, well, I say we fire some stuff up. What do you guys think?
Do it.
All right, Victoria says do it.
Bet and Ben's Mall Railroad. He loves those riding locos.
Me too. They were one of the first sound loco fleet in our early days. I think it was like we just became a dealer, and at that time it was always easy to say, hey, I should have these for experimenting. But I did. I learned a lot. I didn't know anything about DCC when we started up our shop, and just a lot of interesting tales with having a train shop. And as I'm firing these up, I just want to excuse me. That's the fun part about being live. That would be another take in our normal videos. But I noticed that we put a poll out there that Victoria was conducting, and the last time I checked, it seemed that what you guys want to see is more behind the scenes of running a train shop. So that's pretty cool. That's something I definitely didn't expect to see, but yeah, there's many stories to be told. That's for sure. And honestly, like, it probably sounds like the last thing like we would say, but we hope there can be more train shops going, because the two of us, or maybe one day the 10 of us or whatever, yeah, we can't handle it all, so I hope more people catch the bug, so to speak, to get into the business side of things. I know we're not usual. You usually don't hear that. Like, you hear companies say, I don't want any competition, but again, we can't handle it all. We're already busy. All right, let's fire them up. I say that is a good idea. So I'm just gonna go down my list here and get everything going. Yeah, I love these switchers. I got to see 1540 in real life go through, well, I guess many people by now seen them, but I got to see it when it was still black and patched. It was really cool. I had no idea what I was looking at, because they just brought it out one day for experiment purposes, I guess. Now we're gonna make some noise. And thanks to everyone in the chat too. Victoria is over at the computer typing away, so she's my person to help intervene in the comments if I'm missing them, because I gotta sometimes keep my eyes on the railroad so we don't have any issues. Yes, full scale. Yeah, I agree. I hope you don't mind me saying Ryan, but yes, I was happy to realize who you were. I'm like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Appreciate you coming out. But yeah, I bet they're fun to drive around. Oh, okay. Let's see. It's one thing to be said about HO scale. Sometimes it doesn't seem like the locomotives are loud, but you get like 8 or so going in the same room, and it starts to liven up quickly. Okay, first things first, we're gonna pick up a nice Chessie train so we can get things going in the background here while we do this. Love that horn. There we go. Yeah, we don't get to see all the action at Reading and Northern. We live like on a branch line, but hey, what we see is awesome. We got to see the red GP39 when that first was coming out. It was some good catches here or there. Thanks so much, Dennis, or Denise. Yeah, sorry. I'm like trying to read fast. It like goes away and comes back. Okay, we picked up some trains now. Trevorton, very cool. Off of 81. Like Gordon, sort of. Let Victoria know about. She's like, "Where's Trevorton?" I'm like, "Yeah, you know it." Yeah, we get around a little bit. Well, good to know about the Athearn train. See, sometimes we're not a dealer for them yet, but we probably definitely could now. They had pretty steep requirements at first, but yeah, we kind of got past that point of being worried about it. But if you guys been following us, you probably know we sort of like to, we're trying to, how do I want to say, we're worried about longevity. So we're just slowly becoming dealers and building up inventory, trying to do everything with cash on hand. So we're really trying to be here for longevity. The Reading and Northern Locos, those were a few years ago. So maybe their Atlas, so I would say around the 200 mark with sound included. I feel like that's sort of where they were and sort of still are in a way. But I forget, it almost depends. Like now they're starting to put ditch lights in the MP15s, which I really wish I had. Yeah, we're going all Chessie tonight. That's right. And definitely some Reading and Northern going here soon. This is our Reading and Northern yard here. The small one for now until we can do something really prototypical one day. Oh, I know. While this train's going, here's a fun little fact. Trains in the Valley. You might wonder why we came up with this name. And first of all, we didn't realize there's also like a committee, Trains in the Valley or something, out in the Midwest, I think it is, or something like that. It's like, oh, that's not cool. But we're literally in, like, everyone calls this the Valley. It's Valley View, Pennsylvania. That's our headquarters here. Fun fact is, long ago, decades ago, I think it was possibly the Pennsylvania and Philadelphia Railroad, I think they were going to try to connect through here up to Millersburg, which would have been, I believe, the Pennsylvania Railroad and now Norfolk Southern. So when we get our big new layout going, once we build our new property and we have the train shop and everything going on, the concept is we're going to recreate our town in a what-if scenario if, like, Class 1 trains were going down our main street where we literally have no trains, like, in here. We're going to do, like, a what-if scenario. So it'll be interesting. So that's kind of like a little extra of why we decided to go with our name. So we have a big plan, and it's starting to come together. Okay, so these switchers, they need something to do. So I think it's time to, or I should say it's about time that a train's coming in here. It's gonna give them some work to do. And we'll have that nice little Chessie train making its way in the background throughout the night. Yeah, I know. Trains in the Valley. Yeah, what are the chances, too, of that? Like, when I came up with the name, like, I had no idea about them. Because I forget, like their website's a little different. So I was doing research and stuff, but you know, it's kind of like a phrase, so it's hard to search phrases sometimes. But I think they really got going sort of around the time we got going too, so it's interesting, but they never complained, and honestly, they're doing a good cause, so it's all good. Okay, so we have a train that is coming in here towards the yard. Oh yeah, and I did catch that comment. Yep, there was a lifelike caboose. Last time I heard I need a caboose, and I was looking around. I'm like, why don't I have any Chessie cabooses? Yeah, so I did find that lifelike to make things do. Any minute, I'll be coming around the corner. Good old Conrail. Yeah, that's even worse because it's the Conrail Express that Reading and Northern. It got destroyed on them like after a week practically. So that's not everyone's favorite either. I thought it was cool. I'm like, hey, I like it. Yeah, my last name's Conrad, so I can't really complain too much. I always thought it was neat. I'm like, wow, that's so close to my name. All right, so he's bringing back some empties for the yard to restock and make it all happen again. Try not to critique me too hard on the real life operations. I have a lot to learn, but honestly, this is me unwinding after a long work day. Oh, these gondolas. It's an Atlas train, man. Pretty simple scheme, but definitely nice. Sometimes I throw some ballast in them, and I think these are actually for tie loading, or at least that's what the orange NS ones that are hiding up there. So I'm gonna like find some old junk track and do some, like, just rip up the ties a little bit and make it look like tie scrap. Or I could stack them neatly and make them look like ties to be applied. We'll see what it comes about. Yeah, Bowser, they make some nice stuff, that's for sure. Alright, time to put the brakes on here, or I'm gonna overshoot the yard. See, there I go, reading comments. Hello, Terry, welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, they're a nice gondola. Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, I'm trying to keep longer, more modern gondolas on the stuff, but every now and then some 40-footers sneak on here anyways, just because I like them. Okay, we gotta bring that train back. I forgot I have like the deceleration turned up all the way, so like the brakes squeak, but it really takes a while to stop, so I got a little carried away there and overshot. Good question. We are trying to do our first official train show this year, probably Allentown. So that is the plan. Victoria says it must happen, and I'm excited to oblige. This time a year ago, we were doing another well, we were doing the train business, but we also had a cleaning business, so we had to do like tons of work over the weekend, so we could never do anything. So we are excited to be able to make that happen. So yeah, that's going to be our big step this year and see how it goes. Mostly to, meet people. Oh, we have a serious derailment going on here. I don't know how that happened. What is happening? Okay, there we go. I'm not surprised that happened because when I was getting my glorious Chessie train together, it was like a big mashup of brand new cars, but then some used ones that I upgraded. But like I upgraded a long time ago, like before. You know how upgrading is. You get better as you do it more. So there's probably some tweaks I could go back. As soon as I car it was, I'm like, oh, you're a nice car, but I'm not surprised it was you. All right, MP15s, it's your time to shine. Let's do it. I love that little air horn. Sounds good. Good to hear that we picked a good one. Hey, Allentown's probably the closest, like the biggest show that's closest to us. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. Don't mind me doing hand switches. As you see, I didn't get my wires hooked up yet. Yeah, that horn. It's so classic. It's kind of loud too. I think because there's not much frequency to it, so it packs a punch. That's for sure. Yeah, good comment, Ben. Yeah, it's definitely, it's good to say this is my show and that's that. I appreciate that dedication. Fall show. Yeah, Victoria's right on that because the next show's coming up fast and we're like, well,
It's like a month from today.
yeah, it's a month from today and we just like opened up international shipping, so who knows what's gonna happen there. Yeah, things could get crazy. Yeah, I'm not sure if I'll personally get down to the spring one or not. Like I said, things are a little interesting right now. We're keeping real busy. Hot Rod, you're right. Yep, live stream, it brings it on. Derailments. Oh well, I can handle a little derailment. One time I felt so bad. One of my buddies, he wanted to show me his layout. He just went into beast mode and he made this awesome basement layout. And he's like, yeah, I want to show you. And he had a short somewhere, but he had no idea where the short was. So yeah, he couldn't show me anything. He was so disappointed. And he said he found it about like 5 minutes after I left right away. Like he was moving every car off and he's like, yeah, it was stupid. But yeah, ever since that time, that's where I got the the classic concept of, yep, if you're showing somebody, it's probably gonna get messed up.
That's just life.
Yes, it is. All right. There we go. We are hooked up. All right. It seems like I'm getting the hang of this. The first show, well, it was tough. It was a whole different experience, like operating with a live audience. It's fun. It's really cool. Really appreciate you guys being here. Honestly, it's a really good excuse to be like, I definitely don't want to say like forced to work on the layout, but it's good motivation. It's gonna keep this going forward, which is exactly what we need, because we can keep trying out new stuff and making it better and better each time. We do have some switches ordered. Of course, they're probably going to get here in about noon tomorrow. But probably next time we'll work on that maybe. Just a real simple thing. We're going to add a couple industries so we can, have more of a mission going on here. And then after that, we're making an Amtrak station. And then after that, it's going to be a yard that's just massive. I forget. It's that car again. Okay. We got some issues here. It's time for this car to get disappeared. Yeah, I love this car. It was weathered when I got it. No idea the brand. They really did a cool job on it, but it has always given me trouble, so I have to come back to it at a later date when I figure out what's going on. Yeah, for some reason it just gets hung up on the crossover there. Everything else is sliding right through, no problems. So rather than having issues, we'll just get that out of here. I don't know. It could be an Athearn.
Did you stop this, or is this supposed to be moving?
Yeah, give it a quick push. Yeah, something's interesting. I have to work on some inclines in the layout too. There's definitely a spot that's like bumpy or something. I see that we're having some issues.
The light was off, but it was like humming.
Uh-oh.
Well, all the kinks worked out now, you're using like a lot of lines at once.
Yeah. Yeah, this is a good way to get the kinks worked out, that's for sure. Like we said, it's gonna break now, so Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I think my chassis have a little too much weight on them, and I know why, because of the older cars. It's definitely not like you know, difference between free rolling wheels. Now, I don't know if there's any plastic wheels on there. I don't think there is, but trucks are another situation. So I got to check them out to see if there's any that aren't rolling as good as they could be. But yeah, I'm gonna be slowly taking a few cars off of that guy so he can keep moving along. Yeah, I'm not sure what's giving it trouble, but they all tap out at some point. I've noticed intermodal trains can get really heavy, so having a triple header is handy when you have a loaded intermodal train, that's for sure. Yeah, HO scale definitely came a far way lately. It got, inflated a little bit to say the least, but it did improve, that's for sure. I mean, my first train set was in the 90s as a kid, and, yeah, things definitely improved. Okay. So we're soon ready to back in here. Good thing we actually have some room in the yard for a change too. Okay.
Yeah, don't let it come back over here.
Okay. All right. Now the fun begins of running 2 trains at once. Yeah, it's good for multitasking, that's for sure. All right, let's see what happens now. I want to make sure it was going where I wanted it to. We'll see. You can get lost sometimes in a yard. Yeah, that's a good skill, Ben. Yeah, I'm usually all right. It can get technical. Well, I want to say it's not so much like I am a pretty good multitasker if such a thing exists, but yeah, when it's like operations like this, definitely keeps you on your toes, that's for sure. But I do enjoy the yard operations. It's cool. It's just, it's a little slowed down, makes you think a little bit. It's really fun. And that's what's fun about model trains, isn't it? Like, you can just do anything you want. That's the fun part about it. Oh, hey Josh, what's up? Just having a fun old time running some local trains. How about it? Well, at least the rail yard is cooperating pretty good so far. But that is one thing that's nice. Like all the Bowser cars, like I said, they're pretty reliable. So far so good with that. You know what I've noticed? If you have derailment, sometimes the screw of the truck is like a little too tight. I like my trucks to have like a little bit of wiggle room. I think that helps negate things a little better. So that's definitely something that I've been tinkering with a little bit since the beginning here. See if we can get a better drone view of this here. I will admit that is pretty pleasing to the eye, seeing all these hoppers lined up. I've been working on the Reading and Northern Fleet for some time now. Yeah, and actually Bowser, they're doing another run of like the PPL type ones. Those do so good. So, and even if you're not in Pennsylvania, they do run out all over the place. So, just saying. No, that's the cool thing too about trains. Like, just because you model one railroad, cars got moved around so much. I once heard there was a Lehigh Valley boxcar that only was on Lehigh Valley lines for 2 days out of the first year that it existed. So it was all over the country with the Lehigh Valley name on it, but it was barely here at home at all. So, interesting things. All right, time to cut this. Oh, not that way. Love how these hangouts always turn into like almost like meeting of the minds when it comes to everything. And it's good because there's just not, well, I won't say, like, there's probably more resources now than ever outside of like a hobby shop. So that's what's so good. We just get together and we always learn something. Picked up a little more speed than he should have there. Yes, we are fans of the DCC here. It's definitely not necessary, but I love it. Like now I'm a rare breed. I was into computer programming and all that stuff, so it is really cool how you can do so much with a model train these days. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up some full loads now. Now I have an assortment. I wish I could zoom in here a little bit, but I'll get all that figured out. Again, we're just getting started with these live shows. But I have some plastic loads. Some of those are custom loads, and the very first two here, they're particles, which is a dangerous game to say the least, because one derailment and, well, you got a real mess on your hands. but it is fun. And those are just simply Woodland Scenics, Cole. I just kind of wanted to test it out and see what it was all about, how it looked in real life. That's an interesting comment, Ben. Yeah, you know, it's always hit or miss with products. I won't mention names, but we got a batch. I was actually wanting to do a review on them, and pretty much like we sent more than half the batch back. Like it was missing parts, and it was rough. With Bowser, we usually like out of like a couple thousand cars, maybe we'll have like one issue every now and then. One thing that is tricky, for example, is like when, first off, when like FedEx delivers it to us, they're kind of rough sometimes. There's holes in the boxes. They're launching it from all heights. It gets interesting to say the least. But it just depends. Sometimes people, like, we get most of our Bowser products direct from them, but some people go through a distributor. So then, it moves through a lot of hands before it gets to the customer. So that can be, I've noticed more issues with the chain when it's kind of longer. You get more things banging around. But with their hoppers, I've noticed, if anything, every now, like a loose weight's pretty rare, but I've seen that. Usually it's like the inner braces. Usually one of them's floating around. But other than that, they had a pretty good track record. But everything's hit or miss. Just depends. What we do at our shop, and I have no idea what the other shops do, but we give every box a good shake. Or if it's a really high detailed product that we had issues with, Victoria will, well, we both will sometimes, but last time that was her painstakingly looking at every detail to see if it was okay. And that's why they went back, because they were not. It's sad that there isn't more QA sometimes, but, I guess we can't all be perfect. Let's see, I'm intrigued by the quick model tip. If you have a collection of loose rolling stock, save up and invest in boxes with soft foam packing material. Keep everything nice and packed together. Well said. An organized collection is a safe collection. I learned that the hard way sometimes. All right, now it's time to pick these up. If the yard was a little bigger, I could do it all in one shot. But you know what? That'd make things too easy. Then we won't have all this fun. Well, I can't believe I was on here for almost 50 minutes already. Like, it feels like 10 minutes. When you're doing something you love, you know how it is. Yeah, Victoria's like, that's crazy. Yeah. Oh, we're still working on that big HO scale collection we've been teasing for weeks. We're just about ready to dig into the kits finally. Kits are interesting. The honest thing about them is that's simply it. They're kits. They're open boxes. Did a piece disappear 10 years ago? Who knows? So we have to lay out the whole kit and then basically say, here's the pieces you're going to get. But but people love kits. I enjoy kits to a certain extent. You know, there's the difference between you know, a simple kit and then like some of the ones we were finding, they're like super advanced, like wooden old kits and stuff. Those are crazy. But love to hear what you guys think. You know, are you guys into kits or would you rather, you know, throw it right on the tracks? I probably enjoy like I like this like Stewart and Bowser when they were doing kits, like that whole line. Like it's a nice satisfying hopper, not too difficult. It definitely helped me get better at gluing stuff, which, you know, we're always getting better at stuff. Yes, Acurel. Yeah, I made a hopper. I think me and Victoria, we both have a covered hopper each under our belt, so so that's good. Covered hoppers can be a whole different game. Yeah, Acurel is a wonderful company. We really like working with them. And you know what I like about them? The fact that um, they not like announce a lot of new products, but I feel like generally they get the products out as soon as they can. So it's always kind of nice when we see products being made somewhat quickly. And last I checked, everything was here in the U.S., which is, you know, pretty rare these days. So definitely helps. But yep, we have a lot of Acurel projects to tackle. That's going to increase our chassis, our chassis system train, that's for sure. Yeah, it was the covered hopper. Yeah, Blue Box. Yeah. Yeah, they're definitely nice. I feel like Athearn Blue Box was sort of ahead of its time because, like, I think about now. Granted, you know, when I was 6 years old, you know, I didn't know what a Katie coupler is and stuff like that. But yeah, I feel like the gearboxes and all that stuff. Like, I feel like they were trying to push things forward. And very interesting. Acurel, yeah. You know, sometimes we find out. We just found out, like some of these smaller companies. It's like, oh wow, they're still in business. You get surprised sometimes. Yeah, Acurel, they're doing good. What I love about Acurel too is like you can get decals from them directly. So like if there's a car you really like, aka the Chessies, like you can pick up a whole case of them and make 12 different road numbers because like they have like the decals. I guess they're color matched to the car. We have to apply some yet, but I really think that's cool. I'm pretty sure we have. Yeah, we should have. We just got rail boxes in actually. Acurail rail boxes. They just brought out some 3-packs. Yeah, every now and then they'll produce a really good car. Ever since they started doing the 2-bay hoppers lately, they brought out a new. Well, it's not lately. Now it was probably for a year now, but yeah, they made some pretty good ones there. They were doing all our favorites: Chassis, Rock Island, Great Northern, all the bright colored ones. Yeah, we love to see them. Yeah, tonight's project is pretty minor here on the railroad compared to getting ready for this. Did you guys ever like invite someone over and like you start cleaning your house like crazy? Sort of what was happening on the layout last night. It's like, I'm inviting the entire world to see my train layout. I better get these 100 cars out of here. You know, I once heard that a yard that's half full is full. Yeah, mine was like double full. It's like, I gotta get this out of here. So I was changing stuff around, all that. Let's see. I'm trying. Well, the comments are going crazy tonight. I love it though. Let's see. If you have a 12 by 12 area, what would you do? Shelf build if you also build layout in the center of the area. That's interesting. See, I kind of want to do both. Like I was definitely my initial idea was to do the shelf layout, but of course here in our garage we just have we have windows and all kinds of, well, we're trying to run a train shop out of it too, so that doesn't help. I don't know. I guess what's hard with trains is you can do it all, Like that's the thing. You can, like, it just depends on what your goal is, I guess you could say. But I will say what I really anyone that can pull it off, if they have like a 2-level layout. I've seen some on shelves, maybe even 3-level layouts on shelves. Can get some crazy stuff going on in the room. No matter what you do though, it's definitely good to get the height right. This is probably the tallest layout I did, and it's still could be a little taller, but I didn't want to alienate, like, if any kids wanted to see it, friends over or something like that. I didn't want to, like, have it like 6 foot off the ground that no one could see it. So that's a bit of a challenge getting that just quite right. Thank you, Kyle. Glad you were able to join. And thanks for helping me bust out that Tangent car. I think it will be on the layout for a little bit, that's for sure. Maybe I'll upgrade some of the other ones, or it's definitely time for me to look out at like all the stuff I have. It's getting a little crazy, even for doing a big layout. I've definitely narrowed in a little more, as we all do. All right, time to take these hoppers back to the main line here, or the auxiliary line as I call it, like the yard feed basically. Happy wife, happy life. That's for sure. I don't know the answer to this question, but how in the world did like my wife take on a train business like that? I've definitely like I remember talking to a customer on the phone, and he's like, wait a minute, so you're telling me that your wife runs trains and she does trains? It's like, hang on to her. It was so good. He's like, don't mess that up. That's so funny. Oh. But yeah, we have become the force, that's for sure. But yeah, that is a good point. That's something to think about. The longer you can make your main, the more, mainline action you can get going on. See, there was a point where I was going to make my main line in the front, so like, I could see the main line going. But then I started thinking about it, I'm like, well, that doesn't make sense for this layout, because then the main line is going to be, and when you have, like, I'm grateful, like, this is a pretty decent space, like 16 by 12, trust me, it's pretty sweet. Again, going back to when I had a 4x4 setup, and then I went to 4x8 that was on wobbly sawhorses. Things came a far way from then, but you still, like in any space, you want to be conscious and try to get the most bang for your buck, so to speak. But yeah, when you guys see this layout, it's complete. It's just going to be track all over the place. It's purely an operating layout, that's for sure. But when we have the big, cool setup going that we keep hyping, that's in my head at the moment, definitely gonna be getting into some serious scenery, that's for sure. I certainly appreciate some good scenery. But for now, it's then tracks. And again, for anyone that's joining us that has no idea what I'm talking about, me and my wife, we are building a model train shop that people can actually come and visit and hang out, and we'll have a full HO scale layout on the first floor, and we're going to turn that into community layout, and YouTube is part of our community. So what we're doing right now is just scratching the surface of what we got up our sleeves once we have the space and the technology to, just go crazy. But yeah, after all that time, after an hour, we're getting some coal onto the tracks. I'm not sure if that would fly by normal standards. Also had a derailment or two. Probably should hold off on my application for Reading and Northern. No, that would definitely be fun, but I can certainly appreciate that it's a job. It's a job that involves hard work, and I don't even want to think about what you guys put up with during our 5-degree wind chill weather we were having. That it was brutal. It was brutal. I can only imagine. Now that is an awesome honeymoon right there. That is cool. Yeah, that cold weather was so unprecedented. That was the only bad news. So the new property that we just got, it has the old bar room, which is going to be the train. There was also a house next to it, a little small house that we're going to call our home at some point. And we were trying our best to keep the water going for convenience, but the moment I went into the basement and water dripping, almost like a light stream going, the moment I saw an icicle coming out of a blue PEX line, I'm like, yep, it's over. I've never, PEX can expand really good, but yeah, that was the moment. I'm like, okay, yep, that's the end of water for a little bit. So we got everything fixed. Thankfully, we didn't blow a main or the water meter, but that I've never seen it was cold. So yeah, moving water can freeze. Yeah, I emphasize for you guys out there in the thick of it. Yeah, it was crazy. So, guess we'll see that in the next update of Rails to Retail. We kind of want to get our house going, because then we'll be centralized, and then we can really work on the whole thing. But you know what? As that can be discouraging, but the way the train business is going, it seems that we're able to make it happen. I like that. Yeah, it was hard water. It was it was rock solid, that's for sure. But yeah, it's one thing, I get it if we just didn't have the water dripping or anything, but yeah, it was wow. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. But we don't have the heat hooked up. We're tearing out insulation. We're knocking down walls. We're doing the whole thing. So, the way I look at it is, It's a long story. Maybe one day we'll tell that long story, but we weren't even supposed to have this property yet. Like we got like a 6-month head start on it, basically, you could say. So I'm like, we'll live with it. We'll figure it out. All right, let's see what's next here. I got a couple more cars to get on that train so we can depart here. So that's how we like to keep things moving. The train just came back, get them back out there on the road, right? Definitely doesn't work like that, but, well, my railroad, right? All right, let's see. Now that we got more space, we can throw it right down this empty line here. Yeah, I'm almost shocked seeing like empty lines. Like I said, like, yeah, I had this railroad was a little congested for some time. So yeah, thanks to you guys, things are looking a little sharper around here. Oh, I was just backing up on the comments there for a minute. Hot Rod made a good point. You know, there are a lot of girls into the hobby, in all seriousness. You know, it's, how do I want to say, it might get like, it's not common to hear that, but yeah, it's definitely for anyone, you know. That's good to hear, Glenn. We appreciate that feedback because we had no idea. That's why we kind of just left it up to chance. Basically, the big milestone of our day is 4 p.m. That's when the mail closes. So from the moment that we wake up to 4 p.m., our main goal is just getting all the shipments out that we possibly can. Because the more we get out, you know, well, makes our customers happy, and it's less we have to do the next day. I always say, like, let's get them all done today. Future us is gonna love that. But yeah, no, we're really grateful that you guys are here hanging out with us. Southern California, very cool. Yeah, that's good too. I know, like, when we're doing anything that involves like scheduling or stuff like that, I always try to think of the West Coast because we actually, yeah, we have a lot of people out there that buy from us. And yeah, I often think about that. Like, you know, if we do some spontaneous, like, hey, here's a rare collection, come and snag it. I like always try to think about, like, not so cool if like we throw that out at like 7 a.m. your time, you know? So I always try to like kind of schedule things out later in the day. So good to hear. I forget what else was on my mind. I always forget the good questions when I'm with people, and then I think about it, and then it's like, oh yeah, I should have asked him this. But I feel like there was something else. Yeah, I did talk about international for a minute. But it's worth saying again. I know people come in and out. Yeah, we had a lot, and I mean a lot, of requests for international shipping. Now I'll say this. Actually, I'll disconnect the train first, then I'll say this. Oh, Madge, don't mind the hand in there. I'm hands-on. Oh, that's not how you do it. Well, when I forget what direction I'm in. Yep. Oh, there we go. I thought it connected again. Yeah, international shipping. So highly requested, and yeah, definitely an interesting thing. But we run our website through Shopify, and thankfully they make it really easy where they handle all the so-called big boy type stuff with taxes and tariffs and import tax and all that stuff. So I'm really grateful for that. Now the reality of international shipping, most, when you guys, go to check out and you get hit with the, wherever you are, $30, $40, $50. I've seen $100 already to ship a heavy package out. Yeah, that's, unfortunately it's, it's not going in our pockets. It's going into the, the mail or whatever, so it's really going to the shipper. So yeah, it's expensive, but I realized that, yeah, the international scene, it's hard to get trains sometimes too, especially when we have like used trains that people are looking for. So yeah, it's interesting, but yep, we're trying our best, to get things ramped up so we can help, as our mission is to make model trains accessible to everyone. I'll admit early on we were kind of against it. You get all afraid. You're like, what if the package gets lost? What if it's fraud? All the what ifs and stuff. But like now it's more like, well, our mission is to, get model trains into people's hands. And, if there isn't anyone else in someone's country, well, it's worth the risk, I guess you could say. Step up to the plate and, get it. So yeah, that's something I wanted to say we were quiet about, but I see Victoria changed the banner on the website, start talking about it. But yeah, we just did that this morning, and we already got a package going off to the UK tomorrow. So that is interesting. I don't know if it's any coincidence. I don't know if you guys heard there was this big company in the UK that just called it quits. That's a whole topic to talk about. I could make a whole video. Not that I I don't want to belittle someone's business or anything like that, but just like my view. Yep, Haddon's. Yep. Yeah, I'm so into our world, so to speak. I definitely don't wake up and say competition, let's see what they're up to. Yeah, some days we have near 50, 60 shipments already, and that's a long day sometimes for two people, which we appreciate and is not a problem. But yeah, my dad told me, he's like, yo, check out this article. And yeah, I read it. I'm just like, that's crazy, because that's dying hobby. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing every time I go online, someone's building a layout, or they have a question about, hey, I'm building a layout, or I just built a layout, or I'm getting back into building it. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. When I was in school, a lot of people, they'll say now, it's not like how it was, and I kind of got in my head about oh wow, back in the day, I guess, your entire class in school, they all went home to their model trains after school. But I was thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know anyone in my class, let alone school, that I can think of that had any interest in trains at all. And then I asked my dad, and he's like, yeah, I don't know anyone. I mean, of course there's, sometimes it's happening in the basements and you have no idea. But yeah, just my point. Yeah, I'll do a long form video about this at some point, because I don't see it from my view as a model train shop owner. And and that's not just saying it because it's I want to keep doing what I'm doing. Well, of course we do, but no, it can't be stopped. That's the most entertaining way to say it. It can't be stopped. Yes. There are new videos every day and I can't keep up. But when our shop's done, then I can sit in the shop and I can watch YouTube. If I have good, dependable employees, I guess. No, this is kind of like a dream come true, let alone the train shop, but like to actually be here and just run some trains. Like this is super fun, you know, like it's weird to think of it as work, but you know, I mean, in some ways, you know, I'm here entertaining and stuff like that, but it is just yes. But yeah, that's my biggest thing, like, you know, like on a serious note, like by all means, like I feel like this hobby could be the difference in like a younger person's life. Like, you know, I think about like in our town, like we live in like a really nice town and everything like that, but there's still trouble, you know, get into trouble and things like that. And this is kind of a nice way to just steer people in the right direction and give them something positive to do. Hey, Ritz, what's up, dude? Hey, good to see you. Just here running some trains. Yep, just having some fun on a Thursday night here. Hey, no problem. Hope all's well with you too. I know we still have a journey to make, but yeah, end of year. I kind of forgot how like December gets. Yeah, things got a little out of hand. I think like, see, here's the thing, like it's hard enough to like shut the business down to eat, but we got to do like I think we got to do like the Trains in the Valley road trip. Like just this week we have, I think there's like a Tennessee collection, there's a Michigan collection, Chase After the Right Price. My brother wants to send me more stuff. There, Victoria's like, there's another guy too. Yeah. No, I know. Yeah. Well, no, there's two people in Michigan. Yeah, so it's like, yeah, it's nuts. Oh, it's all good. Like I said, December. it was a force to be reckoned with, that's for sure. Yeah, we've been buying stuff. Yes. Yeah, we're actually getting ready. So not this Saturday, but the following Saturday, we're gonna try, and try is the key word. We're gonna try to finish off the big MTH collection that we've been buying. We're getting into the track, the Transformers, the Cough MTH Premier Roundhouse of all the Norfolk Southern Heritage units. Cough, I didn't say it here. Yeah, that's a spoiler right there. This guy, like, I kept saying, like, this guy had the stuff. He had the stuff. So we're going to take my dad. We're going to have the family on hand. Oh, my goodness. It's going to be crazy. I know they watch the channel, too. They're so cool. So you never know. They might be watching now. Who knows? But yeah, that is our plan in the following Saturday. It's going to be crazy. I love it. I got talking and reading comments, and like my train just like totally left the yard. Like he's like, oh yeah, wait, I got more to do. I gotta connect. I gotta get these. If I like go back and like watch how I'm actually operating, I'll be like, yeah, I can tell I was talking and reading comments while driving this train. So yeah, ignore that. But oh. Yeah, whatnot. That's a interesting thing, you know. I like some categories. It's so good. It's just it's really hard for model trains. It's like, you know, I think eBay's been the big thing, you know, since the 90s, and you know, eBay's great. You know, So we sell on our website and then we sell on eBay, but it's the same thing. At the end of the day, after everything, about 20% goes to eBay. So it's rough, we can't really talk about it on eBay, but hey, we're on YouTube now. Definitely going on our site's the way to go to save money. eBay's intense. Like, they take, like, this isn't anything confidential, it's out there. So, like, of the model train category, they take 13.5%. But here's the interesting thing, which I just learned. It's not just 13.5% of the product, it's the shipping, which I understood that too, but even the sales tax. So, like, if you guys pay, like, let's see, $100 flat, $15 is going to eBay of that. Or wait, no, that's not right. 13.5% of, like, the actual, like, bottom line. So yeah, it's interesting, to say the least. And yeah, whatnot, like I said, it's like, it's interesting, to say the least, like, how it operates. We really enjoyed it, but it was just hard to, I don't know. It was just hard to do what we do, I guess. Like, the best way that we operate is sort of with our website, because that way we can really, like, detail everything really good. And, oh man, we're getting lots of good questions now. Do we use Pirate Ship? No, we were using ShipStation, which is pretty much the same concept. We're probably narrowing in where we can just use, like, buy labels directly on eBay, and now Shopify seems to be covering the gap pretty good. And let's see, who is next? Terry, good question about the roundhouse. I feel like we should. I feel like we should have a nice roundhouse on the layout. I think that would be fun. Maybe we'll do, like, a what if, like, the Hagerstown, Maryland roundhouse, like, still existed. That'd be pretty cool. I could see, like, parking a Beeline locomotive in there. That'd be pretty satisfying. But yeah, I'm gonna have to think about that. That could be interesting. Because we're definitely, like, the way we're gonna get away from steam engines on our layout is, of course, excursions. And well, we saw Reading and Northern run the 2102 with some freight. So yeah, we'll definitely be sneaking on some steam to the engine. Yeah, to the, I'm talking and reading at the same time. We'll be sneaking on some steam to the layout. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah, the old, we can't tell people about eBay. Yeah, it's, or tell them about our website. That's what I'm trying to say. But yeah, it's like, it's hard because, like, they give us the platform and they got the customers and stuff, but it's yeah, it's a double-edged, you could say. But we've been seeing more and more orders on our website, and that's nice because, we can offer better prices, and that again makes model trains more accessible to everybody. So yeah, that's why we've been going that route with everything. I think what's hard about eBay too is, for example, right now we're like, again, like, we're gonna get into, like, some really detailed kits. Like, we have red caboose kits and stuff. Like, I've noticed people on eBay, not everybody, of course, but some people, they'll just hit buy now and they won't read the description, sometimes barely the title. So that's one thing about, like, our website. It's nice that, like, the description of what you're buying is more prevalent instead of, like, buried under, like, scrolling and scrolling and scrolling down until you finally find where the description is. That's one thing I like. I think it's better for someone that's especially a newcomer, you know. But yeah, it's fun to see no one's sticking up for eBay. Yeah. Well, eBay is like, here's one thing I will say, like, um, like for example, like if there's like an item that we had for a long time and someone's like, hey, if I buy 10 of these hoppers, can you give me $1 off each? It's like, okay, sure. So we have like offers open. So here's what's bizarre. What'll happen is the person's trying to save money, but then it acts as like 10 transactions, and then they end up paying shipping like, you know, sometimes like $80 for shipping something that should cost $7 to ship. So then we have to refund them, you know, after a day. So it's just like there's so many quirky things like that. So yeah, we definitely yeah, we definitely like selling direct. It's fun. Yeah, Terry, you're right. You know, sometimes I feel like we can't take enough pictures, but yeah, you're right. When we're doing research, we'll see like a kit that has like the picture of the box, like a used kit. Like you don't know what's in there. They probably don't know what's in there. Get the one picture and here it is. You know. Oh. Good question, Hess. And that's something I have to regularly maintain. The items actually stay there, and same thing on eBay, same thing on our store. Now, sometimes I'll keep stuff there for a moment just to make sure that everything went good with the sale, which we usually don't have any problems anyways. But this is actually me putting out there, I need to take action and clean up our store. You know, again, with getting busier now, it's like, yeah, I have to get deleting some old listings so it's not clogging up your experience.
But you could mention that it's they're connected, so if something sells out on one, it will.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Oh, and that Victoria mentioned, yes, but we have a automation set up that if something sells out on eBay, it'll go out of stock on our website and vice versa, which is really, really handy that way. And when we move into our future store, we're hoping that we can do the same thing. Like if we have like Katie couplers and stuff, that way we don't have to keep two different inventories, because that can just get frustrating sometimes. So when something sells online, we'll just grab it off of our shelves then. So I'm looking forward to that. I realize some train shops have issues maintaining that, so we definitely have to make sure it's running flawlessly and really good and everything like that. But we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's a system that took some time to get everything figured out. That's for sure. Yeah, good point, Hot Rod. You don't know if it's an empty box or full of nails. With the layout, or yeah, with the collection we've been doing right now, I'm just getting into the kits, just sorting that stuff out. And 3 of the boxes we had, they were just full of detail parts. Like, not like sealed detail parts, but just basically leftovers from like maybe every kit this guy assembled. So yeah, could you imagine the embarrassment of listing that online, saying, you know, Intermountain flat car, and it's like brake wheels? Be pretty bad. Yeah, we try to be as thorough as possible. That's, you know, like I thought I was meticulous. Victoria's like a whole new level. So we really help like keep each other in check, so to speak. So it's really nice. Victoria, they sold out. Yeah, it's, you know, like I say, every day we joke, it's like, oh man, it's a dying hobby. No, it's not. And I know that's for a fact because 28 of you are just hanging out here at Trains in the Valley in Valley View, Pennsylvania. Really cool. Appreciate the love, guys. Appreciate it so much. It wasn't connecting. I'm not surprised it was an Accumate coupler. Love Accurel, but the Accumate couplers, sometimes they just don't behave with other style couplers sometimes. Sometimes they're fine. Just mixed results sometimes. Okay, let's see what's going on here. I think we finally got all the coal cars hooked up here. Oh, that's cool, John. That's really awesome. We love Great Northern. In fact, maybe next time Victoria will show off some of her Great Northern stuff. And no problem, Hot Rod. We're going to have some locos coming in here at any point. Like I said, every day Victoria says there's more collections on the wait list. So we are going to have a huge year. And I love that. So I always say, you know, why should it be sitting in a tote somewhere when somebody wants it? So we're going to try to make some things happen this year. Get as many trains accessible as possible, right? Oh, that's cool. And at Burlington Northern, that's well, it's hard to say my favorite, right? Usually my favorite is what I'm operating at the time. But this is where usually we come together. Victoria took on Rocky and I took on Burlington Northern. So we'll probably be running a lot of BNSF with a lot of throwbacks on it. That's a good point, Sean. I agree. I feel like, you know, now it just depends on where you're shopping, but like there was like a big box, well, there is a big box store about 40 minutes from us, and again, like this was all more motivation to get into the hobby for ourselves for the train shop. But like I didn't understand any of this at first, but now knowing like what a list price is, they were selling train sets in December for like twice of like the list price. You know, like something that should like we would sell for $60, they were selling like into 200s, like 250 or something like that. And they were, you know, people were going in clearing them out, you know, and I'm just like, man, that's crazy. No accessories, you know, just train sets and straight track, you know. But yeah, that'll do it, you know. That'll definitely hurt. But yeah, train sets, I'll admit, like I feel like sometimes it's better to just almost piece it out because then you can get exactly what you want. But yeah, I feel like train sets, maybe we could go back to the drawing board on a little bit as a hobby. I think, I don't know. It's tricky. But that's good to hear, Glenn. Yeah, we like to stay away from list price. And another thing too, we're already doing this with our little booth that we have, but like our price online is the same price in store. I've seen train shops already like have a really competitive price online, and then when you go into the shop, I guess the concept is, oh, you're already there. But I think it's just crazy to see them for like $6 more a car just because you're there in person. It doesn't make sense. In theory, it should be less work to hand it over the counter. So I never understood that thing. But, you know, everyone has their own business strategies. But yeah, that was something I found interesting. I always told Victoria I never want someone to like stand in our shop, look us directly in the eye and say, we'll just get it online, it's cheaper, you know, or I'll check online first, you know. It doesn't make sense, you know. So we try to be, you know, if we're not under, we're try to be right where we should be. But yeah, impulse buyers, profit, you know. We once had a really awesome customer. He said something so nice, and like it always stuck with me. I'm like, yeah, he's right. We had one conversation on the phone, and this guy was like a mind reader, but he said, he's like, Corey, you seem like someone that would rather make a little money from a lot of people than trying to make a lot of money from like a couple people. I'm like, yeah, that's true. You know, we do want to get trains into people's hands for the best value possible. So I thought that was pretty cool. Now, where's my train at? Let's see where he's at. Yeah, I backed up a little farther and he got chatting, but that's all right, right? I feel like the show is sometimes all you awesome people in the chat. You guys are probably entertaining me more sometimes. But I'm just glad that we're getting stuff figured out. We got this in landscape view. That's the first thing that we have to figure out. Let's see. There's some good questions coming in here. Do you guys have a favorite steam locomotive? Mine is Santa Fe 3751. Nice. Currently it probably is the Reading T1 because we got to see 2102. We got to see it in what seemed like 100 pieces now rolling down the main line. It was really cool to kind of see it like literally being welded together, and then a year later it's getting its steam test and they got it rumbling down the road. That was really cool to see. Like we never you know, got to experience something like that being built from the ground up. So yeah, that was exciting. Yeah, they shake the earth, that's for sure. But yeah, it's definitely something like I don't know, there are some really nice, there's some classy steam engines out there. Yeah, trying to think. Speaking of someone getting into the hobby, I think someone bought like one of those old Rivarossi. I guess it was branded as AHM too. It was like an old big boy, and they're like, yeah, it's not working too good. And yeah, someone made a good point about like how do you say, like, it's a tough thing to, like, for someone's first impression to be like a 50-year-old model that needs work. It's like, and then like something elaborate like a big boy yet. It's like, yeah, there's a lot that can go wrong. So yeah, it can. The first set is a trick. You want it to be smooth, but I get it. You don't want to break the bank either. Let's see. Let's see what Dave said. Reading, K1, 210-2. Yeah, those are nice. Yeah, Reading, Reading had nice stuff. Pennsylvania Railroad, definitely some legendary stuff around here, that's for sure. Good old anthracite, right? Well, that's true anthracite. It's still making it happen. Wow, yeah, and time's just flying here. We're like heading into the second hour here. But we actually did get everything put away here, which is pretty sweet. I think I'm gonna bring the switchers in and get those guys parked. And once we do that, we'll get the main line going here so we can actually see the train we were building all night. Yes, we got everything in the mail today. It was like out of nowhere, like the easiest shipping day ever. Like, it wasn't dead by any means, but it was definitely calm. It was awesome. Yeah, so we were happy about that. Yesterday was another story. We had like near 60 shipments. I woke up at 5 a.m. I was picking orders by 5:30. Didn't get everything to the mail. Or wait, no, we did. We got everything to the mail, but it was like 5 minutes before they closed. Thankfully, the local staff is awesome, and they're all about the train business. They really think this is cool. Plus, we're going to be living next door to them, so I told them one day we're just going to build like a chute that goes right into their buggies. But, yeah, so that day was a rush. Yesterday was like pure madness, and then I was trying to get caught up on all the other parts of everything, so it was late. Early day and late night. Today was calm. It was like the vacation we all needed. Ooh, interesting, Glenn. I forget if I ever heard of that. I feel like I was. Victoria got to explore Montana. I'm waiting to make that happen, but she was able to get out there at one point with some friends, and it turned out to be an awesome train trip too, as we learned. The MPs were getting a little stuttery there for a minute. I feel like I gotta power some of these frogs. I think I forgot to do that, but I won't do that on camera ever again. We know what happened weeks ago. I couldn't get that attached. That was terrible. But then I found out that it wasn't the right. It was over crimped, so that didn't help me any. Yeah, that's cool. We'll have to look into that. That's cool. Locomotive. Yeah, I definitely heard of caboose motels before, but that sounds like an experience. Well, that was crazy. Like glitch mid-horn. Definitely lost power for a quick second. Maybe I'll have capacitors on everything one day. But those MPs, they are a tight fit, so I fear the day I have to do any modifications inside of them. They are tight. Uh-oh. Looks like he's going all kinds of crazy. Huh. That's odd. Well, nothing I can't fix on the fly, I guess. Wait, something totally got weird there. Oh, these guys were doing so good, weren't they? They just had to go crazy and short everything at the last second. Yeah, he totally didn't like jump over that switch, right? Okay, we'll try again. Reboot. There they go. I wonder, probably what happened is the one lost power for a second and the other drug it and kind of got into a derailment situation there. Well, nothing new, right? But I've definitely noticed it is possible to run HO without derailments. Like, it's not easy, but once you get everything fine-tuned, it can definitely settle down the issues. All right, I say we got a train on the main line to tear up here. Yeah, not sure what. I'll have to evaluate that. All those things, I'll get into scientist mode, see like what happened. But you know, it's always about consistency. Like one of them I have Katie couplers, the other are original couplers. I just noticed that. I'm like, oh, I forgot to do something. So sometimes anything like that can give issues. So we will see. Victoria has spoken. One day we will have to journey to Montana together. Yes, that does sound great to me. All right, 2012, it's time to light it up. Let's see. Good question, Sleeper. So, old style track, which is definitely fine. Again, we're just using this kind of track because it's convenient to rearrange it, take it apart, and do all that stuff. But I've heard, like, well, I'll put it this way. So, like, this is on plywood. I definitely almost went the foam board approach. It kind of just depends. And 1 second. This is not attached to anything. See, that's the thing with couplers when you have different couplers. I have to give them a little help there. Yeah, I got some KD upgrades to do. Anyways, back to what I was saying. With the foam board, it kind of just depends on your ultimate goal and everything. But I will say something that's nice about foam board is, like, let's say like you build it up a little bit and you want to like create like a valley or like a lake or something that goes like lower. You have the ability to kind of dig it out. So that's one thing that's nice about foam board. But and I just realized too, we're talking like the actual track itself too. I got into a little side point there about like the actual base of the bench, but yeah, I see what you're saying. Well, honestly, that's one thing that's kind of tough to say because I didn't get to experiment it with too much, but I know a lot of people just love the cork. It's kind of the tried and true thing, but yeah, definitely a valid question, which I'll be finding out more as we, again, when we get the full layout going on and everything. We'll probably be using flex track because there's more options with all the different kinds of switches that you can get and stuff like that. There's some really big out there from what I've been gathering. But yeah, probably either way that you build it up. I really like the foam. Like I know there's like pieces that are kind of more like fabricated. That is handy nonetheless. But maybe yeah. Yeah, the foam is cool. Like, yeah, it just depends. Like I said, like I have a hard time kind of saying something opinionated because I just realized like it's so up to you. It's always like trial and error. But I realize, you want to kind of know what you're getting into before you make it happen. So I get that for sure. But I will say this, I guarantee all the people in here probably have more experience than we do to some extent. And that's what's really cool. I mean, again, like, I definitely got like the business head game on and stuff, and I can tell you product numbers and crazy information like that. And, shipping, how to ship safe, get all that stuff done. But yeah, when it comes to the hobby itself, you guys are masters. And I love that. I love that I can wake up every day and learn something new. And I love how you guys, like, there's another thing I'll say, definitely worth saying. I never felt like an imposter having a model train shop because everyone was like so welcoming. I always felt like I was learning with everybody else. That's what was really cool. Like no one was like a gatekeeper. Like you have to be doing model trains for 30 years before you can open a shop. No one really felt that way. It was really, really cool. So appreciate that love as well. Good question about gluing the track down too. I think that's another kind of depends on On what? Like definitely some people, they'll actually glue down the easy track here and put even like ballast on it. Yeah, so yeah, it just kind of depends. Yeah, I mean, you have glue, you have the tack nails and stuff like that. All I'll say is make sure you're happy before you do it. You know, if you do start tacking and, you know, glue can get a little interesting. So let's see. Let's see if we can bring this train up to speed and bring it around again. Ah, screws. That's a good... Screws are a good concept. That's kind of... I definitely use screws when in doubt. That's like, I can always... Well, that's what I did with the layout, actually. I could have got the air compressor and probably got it done in half the time, but I played around with screws just in case I needed to change something, and what do you know, we got a property a block and a half down the road, so I'll actually be able to move this table somewhat easy. Somewhat. Alright, it's time to turn the MP switchers off, save a little fuel, right? Alright, let's see how we can... You guys been patient with these slow yard operations, so we'll get it. We'll get this guy moving a little bit. Never know, maybe next time we'll be able to add on some more full coal loads. If I was really thinking, I would have grabbed some of those awesome new Bowser loads that we got. They look really good. If you guys see, well, I'll just say our website because it's easy because we have some on there. But yeah, English's Model Railroad, that's the owner of Bowser, and he is doing coal loads for a lot of the Bowser hoppers and Stewart and all kinds of different hoppers. But anyways, what I actually wanted to say about it is he's actually used Pennsylvania coal. I don't think it really mentions it too much in the description or on the pack, but I'm like, oh man, that's so worth it to say it. They look good. In fact, I gotta look for the one. I'll show you guys the one that we have. Okay, I had to look around all the coal. Here it is. 100-ton hopper coal load, Pennsylvania coal. What's nice is it's, you know, it's not particles, but, well, it is particles, but, you know, it's not going to dump everywhere like my one that's filled up with Woodland Scenics. So, yeah. Yeah, so really what it is it's from what I saw, it's a 3D printed base, and then they simply glue real PA coal on there. Really nice. But what I was happy about was, like, it actually wasn't too hard to get out. I've seen some coal loads where like the plastic ones that come in, you know, come in standard from the factory. Sometimes, like, I feel like I gotta scratch the whole car up just to get the load out. So that can be tricky. But then again, as I've been learning, sometimes the point is to scratch them and dirty them up, that stuff. I guess, you know, if you're weathering them anyways, that's happening in real life. All right, well, we're about to cross the 2-hour mark, so I think I'll bring this guy around another time, and we're gonna call it a night. Then we're gonna see if we're gonna list more trains tonight, so we have even more trains for... or if we're gonna rest and relax and prepare for tomorrow. That's up to Victoria. All right, well, this was it. Pretty successful. Only one short and a few minor derails. And maybe a Chessie struggling to get uphill with like 30-some, 40-some cars on it. But hey, you know what? We're working out the kinks. Each show's getting better and better. And you know what? I know it is because you guys are having fun and you're talking. And that's what a good show is all about. Yes, Victoria is exactly right. Can you imagine she like said what was on my mind? That never happens. No, we're like the same person. I mean, you know, we're both here playing with trains. Yes, Tori is the boss, that's for sure. Hey, she gets the work done. I'm like the mastermind. She gets it. I'm the guy that lugs, you know, again, I know a lot of you guys are subscribers, watch the videos, but yeah, until we get our main, you know, the new train shop going, again, big project, not going to happen overnight, but yeah, we live next to my dad, and he has like a unique situation. He owns a car wash, so he has like above his house is like a little bit of a warehouse. How convenient. So we got that cleaned up and we're using it, but it's like on the 3rd floor, so it's like, oh boy, it's a lot of 50-pound distributor boxes going up and down and moving it all around. Brawn and brains, yeah, that's right. Appreciate that comment. Someone, you know, so we're working on our like we don't have the best equipment yet, right? So again, now that we're getting some ad money from the videos and stuff, we want to reinvest as much as we can, of course. Right now, you know, we're getting tapped out with the property and stuff, but I want to get like a better microphone when the videos, you know, when the big channel videos go out, like you guys can hear me better and stuff. And I noticed like the phone that I'm using, it doesn't capture a lot of bass. So I always get a chuckle. Every now and then there's someone that makes a comment. They'll be like, you ladies are really cool. It's like, it's like, man, I gotta start growing a beard or something. Oh boy. But hey, it's all good. I'm always full of humor, so it definitely doesn't offend me. It just cracks me up, actually. And yes, my dad is the man. Definitely been helping since day one. You know, he believed in this crazy dream as well. He's been making some boxes for us. So when I show up to ship and I'm like picking the items and Victoria's writing notes and all the cool stuff she does, my dad's like making boxes. So it's so handy to be able to turn and, oh, there's the box. So our ultimate goal is to get him full time. So if you're out there watching, let's make it happen. Because we could use it to keep up with all this awesome stuff going on. Anyways, with that said, I think we're gonna call it a night here on the layout, but again, we got some coal delivered, so you can't go wrong there. Alright guys, thanks so much for hanging out. Really appreciate that, all the comments and everything. So cool. So hope everyone has a good night. Again, thanks for watching. If all goes to plan, we got a cool video coming out this weekend, but we will see. It was a wild week. Last week was wild, I should say. The whole cold weather and pipes breaking thing was a little crazy to say the least. But anyways, guys, all have a good night and take care. And like we like to say around here, feel free to enjoy some trains. All right, we'll see you. Hit the thumbs on the way out. I like that. Thumbs up. All right. Yep. Thanks, guys. See you later. Take care.